Chick-Fil-A, known as the place where you can eat more chicken, has been a part of everyone's lives, including me. This popular fast food restaurant is best known for several things, whether it's the world-famous chicken sandwich or the fact that they're closed on Sundays. But there is one other thing Chick-fil-A is known for, and that's the mascots. Most notably, the Chick-fil-A cows. These larger-than-life bovines have been with the company for over 25 years, ultimately becoming one of the most iconic and recognizable advertising mascots of all time. And with information like that, there's bound to be history attached to them. So in this video, I will be talking about all of the mascots that represented Chick-fil-A, from a chicken to a cow, and even more cows. This is the history of Chick-fil-A mascots. Now let's get a move on. Before I talk about these crazy cattle, let's go over the history of the restaurant they represent, Chick-fil-A. Now the history of Chick-fil-A is kind of confusing, but I'll try and summarize it. Chick-fil-A was founded on May 23, 1946, and opened its first location in Atlanta, Georgia. It was originally called the Dwarf Grill, later known as the Dwarf House. It was created by S. Truett Cathy, along with his brother Ben Cathy, who were both former soldiers from World War II. Truett Cathy had always watched his mother prepare fried chicken, and so he wanted to give it a try for his restaurant. But it wasn't until 1964 when he struck gold, when he ended up creating the now famous chicken sandwich, which was appropriately called Chick-fil-A. The A being a capital A to stand for Grade A service. In 1967, Truett opened a new restaurant in the Greenbrier Mall in Atlanta. That restaurant was called Chick-fil-A. And it went on to change the fast food landscape forever. Ever since then, Chick-fil-A has become one of the most popular fast food restaurants of all time. It's currently the third largest restaurant chain in the US by sales, just behind McDonald's and Starbucks. As for Chick-fil-A introducing a mascot, it's unclear if the Dwarf House had a mascot, but if I had to guess, I'd say no they didn't. Mostly because fast food restaurants were still new at the time, and so were mascots. Our Chick-fil-A mascot story really doesn't start until a few years later, and by a few years later, I mean a few decades later.
Looking shopping in the mall. Decisions big, decisions small. A shopping spree can be such fun. A happy time for everyone. A special feeling when you try that perfect thing you want to buy. Yes, here's the one. You know it's true. You found the one that's right for you. And now it's time for one thing more. To taste the taste worth shopping for. Hey, Chick-fil-A today, Chick-fil-A, the boneless breast of chicken we're famous for. Hey, Chick-fil-A today, Chick-fil-A, the good taste has you coming back for more. Hey, Chick-fil-A today, Chick-fil-A, the taste worth shopping for.
The first mascot Chick-fil-A created was a very simple choice, a chicken named Doodles. Well, actually he's a rooster, but it makes more sense to call him a chicken. He's actually the chicken you see in the C part of the logo. It's unclear when Doodle was officially introduced, as Chick-fil-A has never mentioned it. The earliest photo I could find of the Doodles costume was from around 1976, so he was probably introduced sometime before that. I also don't know what company made this costume, but it was probably a lesser-known company. Speaking of the costume, let's go over it. The color of Doodles appears to be a tannish yellow color, and he looks to be made from a soft fabric, not fake fur or feathers. The head is surprisingly small, especially for a 70s mascot, since most mascots from that time period had very large heads. His eyes are also small and dark, so that's probably where the person inside looks out of. He strangely has eyebrows, and his beak is interesting as it looks more like a duckbill rather than a chicken beak. But at least he has that large red thing on the top of his head. Lastly, he's wearing a red and white bandana around his neck. The body is very large and slightly baggy, so it was probably easy to move around in. He's got some very weird two-fingered gloves that look sorta like oven mittens. Similarly, the only clothing item he wears is an apron with both his name and the Chick-Fil-A logo on it. His legs and feet are interesting, as while the legs are yellow, his feet are more of a reddish-orange color. I'm not sure why those are like that. Did they run out of yellow fabric? Also, some costumes have fur around the legs. And last but not least, I'm not sure if he had a tail or not, since no photos exist of one. Since this character was around so long ago, not much info exists on him. The only thing to go off of are a few surviving photos from that time period. Doodles was primarily used for local restaurant events and never really did anything major. Since Chick-fil-A was exclusive to malls, that's pretty much where Doodles was seen the most. He was either in the mall food court or in any other part of the mall outside the food court advertising Chick-fil-A. This version of Doodles lasted quite a while. It was around 1985 when he was retired, and a new version was created. But let's just say this one was kind of a downgrade. This costume you guys think looks like either Donald Duck or Kirby, so I'm going to refer to him as Kirby Doodles. He gets the Kirby nickname because just look at his mouth. That is a huge mouth! And people think I have a big mouth. Not to mention the very obvious vision hole in the mouth. At least his beak isn't shaped like a duckbill anymore. The eyes aren't any better, as originally he had normal, cute-looking eyes, but now he just looks drunk. Like he was hanging out with Looney Bird and drinking gasoline. I mean, Showbiz Pizza was still around back then, so it's possible. One good thing I will say about this costume is that it's a lot cleaner than the previous one. His white coloring is showing up a lot better, and he's even got some texture to his furry fabric. He's also got the exact same apron and bandana as the previous costume. His legs are still yellow, but now he has black lines on his legs, and he still has the weird red feet. In 1986, Chick-fil-A opened its first not-inside-a-mall, standalone location in Atlanta, Georgia. And you better believe it, Doodles was there. This version of Doodles started to attend more events than the previous one did. Since Chick-fil-A has standalone restaurants now, he's not confined to a mall anymore, so he can do more things now. I found a few pictures of Kirby Doodles attending many outdoor events. He even got to be a part of some band. Before I move on to the last version of Doodles, I want to quickly talk about two other versions of him from the 80s and 90s that I found. There's this version, which looks very similar to the last version, but it is different. For starters, the beak isn't as round, and the mouth is thankfully closed. This moves the vision holes from the mouth back to the eyes. And speaking of the eyes, they're still the same as the other version, but due to them being screens, they are very dark. I almost thought they were pupils. Although it appears his body is the exact same as the other one. Maybe he's slightly skinnier, but I can't tell from the photos we have. And the last Doodles costume created at this time is one I like to call Snowman Doodles. He looks like a large marshmallow snowman thing. He's so smooth and has very large cartoony proportions. He almost looked like he's made of shapes. Sadly, this is the only photo I could find of him, and I'm not sure where this was located at. The final Doodles costume was created sometime in the early 90s, when Chick-fil-A decided to give him a very much needed modern redesign. And yeah, that's much better. Sure, he looks like a completely new character, but it's still a great design. It's still better than this guy. He now has bigger body parts, bigger eyes, a bigger beak, and a bigger thing on the top of his head, a bigger and more noticeable tail, and bigger yellow feet. The one thing I don't like too much about this design is the fact that he's skinny. Now, if you know me, then you know I'm not a fan of the whole redesigning fat mascots to be skinny idea, since it makes them look more like a normal human being with an oversized head. However, this version of Doodles isn't as bad as, say, the current version of Louis the Cardinal, but I still think he should have been a little bit fatter. But maybe that's just me. Also, is it just me, or does he kind of look like the Zaxby's mascot? Okay, now I think it's a good time to talk about the merchandise. Doodles actually has quite a bit of merchandise despite not being too popular. Now, I couldn't find much merch based on the older versions of Doodles, but I did find this vintage plush that actually, I think it's the earliest design of the character Doodles, but I'm not sure. But when 90s Doodles was introduced, he got way more merchandise, especially since Chick-fil-A reinvented their kids' meal to compete with other restaurants like McDonald's and Burger King. Some of Doodle's merchandise includes this fancy necktie, these colorful plastic figures, large inflatables for store openings, and some great artwork of Doodles playing sports and skateboarding. Again, this was the 90s. Over the next few years, Doodles continued to be the Chick-fil-A mascot, but everything changed in 1995. It all started when Chick-fil-A partnered with the Richards Group, aka the same company that created Rockstar Chuck. Together, they created a white billboard along with 2 cows, and written on that sign was 3 words: Eat more chicken. Alright, now we get to the good stuff. The world famous Chick-fil-A cows, aka my favorite fast food mascots of all time. Interestingly, while the cows were now the mascots, Doodles was still used by some restaurants as the physical mascot. The cows were just used for advertising. Now before I go on to the cow's history, I'm going to help answer a question many people ask even to this day. And that's, why is Chick-fil-A's mascot a cow when it's a chicken restaurant? Well, the answer is the great marketing strategy by Chick-fil-A and the Richards Group. The premise is that cows are fed up with people eating burgers, as well as restaurants serving burgers, because, beef is made from cows. So the cows decided to do everything possible to make people not eat beef anymore, but instead eat more chicken. Because, I guess cows hate chickens? Then wait, what does that say about cow and chicken? So let's talk about the cows themselves before I talk about any of the mascot suits. The cows used by Chick-fil-A are known as Holstein cows, aka the standard normal black and white spotted cows. Fun fact, all of the cows featured in the Chick-fil-A commercials are real cows. That's right, not animatronics, not CGI, but real live cows. Well, sometimes they might use CGI, but it's very rare. The cows used in the commercials all come from the same place, Phil's Animal Rentals, which is a place where animals are trained to be used in film and television live and can be rented from. In total, 4 cows have been used by Chick-fil-A from this place. While there have certainly been more, they mostly use these 4. Their names are Freedom, Freckles, Molly, and Cat. And before someone asks or tries to start something, I should mention no cows were harmed during the making of these commercials. The cows were trained using positive reinforcement, food, and lots of patience. Even during that one commercial where the cow parachutes into the football stadium, that was a real cow. That scene has been described by everyone who worked on it as one of, if not the hardest Chick-fil-A commercial to film. But again, the cow didn't care that it was being hoisted into the air. In fact, she loved it. While we all know and love the famous cow mascot suits Chick-fil-A uses today, those aren't actually the first designs created for the restaurants. There is actually a prototype costume of the Chick-fil-A cow created. Well, actually, it's not a real prototype, but it is the first version of the cow in mascot form. And here it is! Wow. They have certainly improved since then. So yeah, this is the first Chick-fil-A cow costume. It looks really bad. But props for trying. There's just something wrong with the head. Like, it is definitely a cow, but there's something off with it. The spots don't look good either. But at least he's fat like a real cow. The only good things on this costume are the feet, hands, and the "Eat More Chicken" sign. Also, I found this photo where he's missing the sign and his gloves, and you can just see how awful that torso is. It's so wrinkly and distracting. Thank God these are the only photos of this costume. Jeez. You may have also noticed in these photos that Doodles is there. Well, like I said earlier, Doodles was still used by Chick-Fil-A, but only as the physical mascot. The cows were soon moving in. The Doodles mascot suit started to be retired in the late 90s, along with this terrible, terrible cow suit. However, some locations, even to this day, once in a blue moon, will still bring Doodles out for special events. These are usually for events at older restaurants that still have the Doodles costume. Nowadays, the only place you can find Doodles is the 2 costumes of him on display in Chick-fil-A's corporate office in Atlanta. But enough of that bird. Let's get back to the cows. Sometime around 1998, Chick-fil-A decided to create a brand new and now iconic cow mascot suit. This is the cow suit we see today. This costume is a huge upgrade to the previous cow suit, as it actually looks good and doesn't have very bad seams or is too weird looking. This is a fantastic costume and perfectly balances the realistic cow designs with human proportions. This costume was designed by the very well-known mascot costume company International Mascots Incorporated. I'm not sure if they designed the other bad cow suit, but I want to say they did because these 2 suits have a very similar looking head shape. I'm also not sure if they did any of the Doodles costumes. International Mascots mostly makes mascots based off licensed characters, but they have also created other restaurant mascots like the Red Robin Bird, the A&W Root Beer Bear, and even though he's not a restaurant mascot, they also created most of the mascot suits for Jeffrey the Giraffe from Toys R Us. As for licensed characters, they've done characters like Tony the Tiger, the Looney Tunes, the M&Ms, and if you saw my last history video, I just learned they created these monstrosities from Great Wolf Lodge. Talking about the costume itself, again, it's fantastic, and I love this costume. Starting with the head, it looks a lot like a real cow, with its long snout and pink nose. The eyes are relatively small, but the newer suits have slightly larger and more noticeable eyes. The ears are interesting because some ears are perfectly normal, while others are bent down to make the cow look more like a rabbit. I'm guessing this has something to do with how it's stored, or maybe there's wire in the ears so they can bend. And just like Jeffrey the Giraffe, the person inside looks out of the cow's neck, more specifically the black spot in the middle. There's also a fan on the inside, but sadly, according to most Chick-fil-A workers, it never worked. The body is interesting because part of it is connected to the head. You see, the upper half of the body is made from foam connected to the head, while the main body is just a jumpsuit that connects to the head, probably by Velcro. The feet aren't anything too special, but originally they were black and white, but now they are just black. Same goes for the hands. Originally the hands were white, but they had black on the back to represent the hoof of the cow. That was so strange, and it didn't look right, but thankfully it was changed. And finally, while I'll mention alternative outfits in a separate chapter, there are 3 main outfits this cow wears. The first is the standard Eat More Chicken sign, the second is a white shirt with Eat More Chicken on it, and last but not least, my favorite and the most common one, is the red shirt cow. All are attached to the base of the head by rings on each shoulder. Now if you know me, then you know I love mascot suit-up videos, especially of characters I like. Although suit-up videos of brand mascots are pretty rare, really the only videos out there are characters like Chuck E. Cheese or Jeffrey the Giraffe. However, the Chick-fil-A cow doesn't have a suit-up video, so I don't actually know how the suit is assembled, but I think I can figure it out. While no out-of-costume pictures exist, we do have some non-suit-up videos showing the process of how to wear the cow suit. Warning, if you don't want the magic ruined, then skip to this timestamp. But now here is how to suit up as the Chick-fil-A cow. Also, if any Chick-fil-A workers who've worn the costume are watching this, feel free to explain how you suit up in the costume. First, you put your legs into the bodysuit, but don't pull it up over your arms just yet. Next, you slip on the shoes. Nothing too fancy, you just put them on like any other slipper. Then don't put your arms in the bodysuit just yet, because now comes the hard part, the head. Just like Jeffrey the giraffe, the Chick-fil-A cow has adjustable straps that go on under your arms. Then, once that's done, you can finally pull up the bodysuit and put your arms in the sleeves. You're also going to need another person to help you zip up the back and velcro the body to the head. Finally, you put your gloves on, and if the shirt or sign isn't already attached, then get your helper to put it on for you. Once you've done that, congratulations! You are now the Chick-fil-A cow. As the years went by, the Chick-fil-A cows brought so much attention to Chick-fil-A and became one of the most iconic mascots of all time. And because of how popular there was tons, and I mean tons of merchandise created of the cows. Some items include t-shirts, a bobblehead, and even a Pez dispenser. There is also an extremely large amount of cow stuffed animals that have become just as iconic as the mascot suits. You can get a normal cow plush or cows wearing different outfits. They come in both small and large. One interesting event involving the cow plushes is the annual cow drop. You see, Chick-fil-A sponsors quite a bit of sports events, and during the college football opening in Georgia, they release thousands of cow plushes from the rafters, and they all fall into the crowd wearing little parachutes, and people can grab them and get a free souvenir. I should also mention one special cow plush actually went to space. Some more merchandise to mention is the classic Chick-fil-A cow calendars. From 1998 to 2018, Chick-fil-A released calendars featuring their cows doing crazy things as usual. These calendars became so popular and a huge collector's item that in 2018, when Chick-fil-A discontinued them, there was a lot of outcry from the general public, especially since Chick-fil-A never gave a reason for their discontinuing. One particular calendar featured the cows as superheroes, and it was so popular that a few years later, Chick-fil-A actually made comic books based off these cow superheroes that were sold in the kids' meals. Moving away from merch, we go to quote-unquote non-merch, or things only made for Chick-fil-A restaurants or other promotions. Some restaurants actually have cow statues in their drive-thrus. Some even have cow head statues. When there's a new Chick-fil-A opening, or if there's some promotion going on, the company will often use these large inflatable cows. They did this with Doodles too, but the cows are more common. Of course, the problem with these is that they're outside and exposed to the weather, and sometimes Mother Nature doesn't cooperate. Finally, there's the giant 40-foot, 30,000-pound cow statue found at the Atlanta Braves baseball team stadium. He sits near the Jumbotron, and he even does the tomahawk chop. Now, you may have noticed that throughout the video, I have been referring to the Chick-fil-A mascot as the Chick-fil-A cow. Well, that's because the cow doesn't have an official name. You see, unlike characters like Chuck E. Cheese, where there is supposed to be only one of him, the Chick-fil-A cows don't have that problem, because multiple cows represent Chick-fil-A, not just one. So it's pretty common to see multiples of the same cow at the same event at the same time, since they're just cows. They're not a specific character. And that's why the cows don't have names. But some locations actually do name their cow. Some names I've heard include Chris, Chuck, Chucky, not that Chucky, Ben, Freedom, and some locations even call them Doodles. Another thing you may have noticed is that I've been referring to the cows as male, and using male pronouns. Yes, I know cows are female, and a male cow is just a bull, but Chick-fil-A has almost always referred to their cows as male, so I'm continuing that tradition. But then again, the cows might not actually have genders. One of the most important jobs to any mascot is marketing the brand, and you better believe the Chick-fil-A cows market their restaurant. I will go on record to say that the Chick-fil-A cows probably go to more events than Andy, Chucky, Blazin' Bill, and any other non-sports mascot that I talked about on this channel combined. They have attended so many events, it is physically impossible to cover them all, so here's some that I could find. Most of these events are local ones, like at the restaurants or nearby. Some include blood drives with American Red Cross, elementary school events, Halloween and Christmas events, restaurant events, including one I'll talk about later, visiting hospitals and nursing homes, going to birthday parties and weddings, and even prom. And most of all, he attended outdoor festivals like fairs and carnivals. Finally, since Chick-fil-A is a main sponsor for several sports programs, the Cows are able to attend many small and big sports games. These mostly include minor league teams and high school teams. Speaking of high school, the Cow actually visited my high school, and I got to interact with the Cow while performing as my school's mascot, Talon. And that was my very favorite experience as Talon, mostly because it felt like I was meeting a celebrity, even though it was just the Chick-fil-A Cow. Let's talk about more things the Chick-fil-A Cows have done that aren't related to a specific event, but more things that I have never seen done with restaurant mascots. The Cows have done so many crazy things, such as ziplining, riding mechanical bulls, going down water slides, and yes, even getting in swimming pools. I also heard of a story about how one cow got to go to a monster truck rally and shoot t-shirts out of a t-shirt cannon to the crowd. That sounds awesome. The Cow has also helped out with several promposals and soldier homecomings. Sometimes there are situations where the soldier is in the cow suit and reveals themselves by taking off the head. In public. Now, I have issues with it, and I'm strongly against this, but that's a video for another day. But please, soldiers, don't do a reveal like this, it ruins the magic. Speaking of ruining the magic, there's been quite a few weird and maybe scary stories involving the Chick-fil-A Cows. Some involve crimes being committed, while others are just weird and kind of funny. For starters, there was this one incident back in 2013 during the Rose Bowl. There was this strange tornado thing that caused fear amongst everyone there, but one stood out, the poor Chick-fil-A Cow, who couldn't see what was happening and was so confused. Even when the escort was trying to help him out, he didn't know what to do, although he was okay afterwards. One that doesn't relate to these particular cows happened in 2019, when a real cow escaped from its owner and caused a huge traffic delay. The best part about this, though, was the cow actually walked over to a nearby Chick-fil-A. I mean, what are the odds of something like that happening? While those last two stories are somewhat humorous, these last three aren't, or at least they're not supposed to be. There have been several stories of Chick-fil-A employees getting hurt while wearing the cow suits. One notable incident occurred in 2013, when Chick-fil-A employee Brittany Knight was hit by a car in the drive-thru while dressed as the cow. To make matters worse, the woman who caused the accident decided to flee the scene, resulting in a hit and run. Thankfully, she was caught by police not long after. Another crime involving the Chick-fil-A cows also happened in 2013, when 3 cow costumes were stolen from a storage facility. They were then listed on Craigslist, but never sold. Once again, the criminals involved were all caught and arrested, and the cows returned to their location. Man, 2013 was not a good year for the Chick-fil-A cows. And finally, there was another incident a few years earlier where an employee dressed as the cow was shoved into a busy road. You see, the Chick-fil-A cows usually go stand by the side of the road to try and get people to go to Chick-fil-A. Well, during one of these times, someone decided it would be funny to push the cow into the road. The worker filed a police report, but unfortunately, I'm not sure if anyone was caught. Guys, I'm going to say this as nice as possible, but do not ever tackle, push, or abuse any mascot ever! Please and thank you. And finally, there's one last thing I want to mention that involves the cows, and that's Cow Appreciation Day. Starting in 2005, the 10th anniversary of the cows, this annual event has Chick-fil-A asking members of the general public to dress up as cows and get free food. You can go in a full cow suit or a white t-shirt with black paper spots. Either way, you get free food. Sometimes real cows will be rented out by Chick-fil-A for this event. And of course, who better to celebrate cows than the Chick-fil-A cows themselves? They come out to interact with everyone for almost the entire day, as well as appearing on local news stations to promote the event. This event went on for 14 years before it was temporarily canceled in 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic. This event has also been canceled in both 2021 and even this year, 2022. Hopefully it comes back next year, because my god, I want to bring Scooby-Moo there so bad. But interestingly enough, this wasn't the first time something related to the cows has been temporarily cancelled, as in January 2004, Chick-Fil-A temporarily retired the cows due to the mad cow disease. They thought it would ruin sales, so the cows were canned. But 2 months later, they came back and they've stayed ever since. And that brings us to today. As of July 2022, the Chick-fil-A cows are still used today by the company. Now you're probably wondering, where can you meet one of these cows? Well, it's very easy. Just go to an event Chick-fil-A is sponsoring, or an event held at your local restaurant. You are bound to see the cows there. Although in this COVID era, they don't come out as much, but they do still come out. Some restaurants even have the cow come out every single day, but that is extremely rare. But we're not done yet with the cows. I've only talked about the main cow.
Why are cows everywhere such strong supporters of Chick-fil-A? Perhaps it's because Chick-fil-A supports quality family programming here on PBS.
You thought the only cow costumes Chick-fil-A used were these ones? Well, you'd be wrong, because there's another one also used. But don't worry, this chapter won't be as long as the last one. Say hello to the Chick-fil-A cow kids, younger cows that are supposed to be the main mascots for the kids menu, along with the rest of the restaurant. I decided to give them their own chapter because they are different than the normal cow costumes. There's not too much to talk about regarding these costumes that's already been said. These costumes, which were also designed by international mascots, are made specifically for shorter people, or someone who can't wear the normal cow suits. The height requirement is someone between 5'2" and 5'7", where the normal cow costumes are for people between 5'9" and 6 foot. But anyway, let's talk about them. Starting with the head. Yeah, it's definitely different than the other one. Unlike the last costume where the head gets strapped under your arms, this one is just a normal mascot head with a helmet inside. The person also looks out of the nose and mouth area. The colors on the head and how it's designed don't really give me cow vibes. I'm getting more zebra vibes, probably due to the spots looking more like stripes. Another thing that's weird with this head is, unlike the previous costume's eyes, this costume has solid black eyes with eyelashes, which makes it look more alien-like. Finally, depending on the gender, the cow is either given a rainbow-colored propeller hat for a boy or a rainbow bow for a girl. The body, hands, and feet are the exact same as the other cow mascot costume, except the body doesn't have Velcro on the front and it doesn't attach to the head. The one thing that is different is the clothing. Once again, it's different for each gender. For the boy cow, it's an orange t-shirt that says "Cool Kids Eat Chicken." For the girl cow, it's a purple, or sometimes pink, or sometimes red, dress that says "Cool Kids Eat Chicken." They also have different alternative outfits, but I'll save those for the next chapter. Just like the other costumes, these Chick-fil-A Kid Cow mascots were used for restaurant events and promotional public events. But really, these costumes were more of a secondary backup costume in case the main costume wasn't available. For example, let's say a cow suit is needed for an event, but the main suit is either damaged or being used at a different event at the same time. Well, then that's where the Kid Cow comes in. They are also used if an event doesn't have room for the large, bulky, normal cow suit. Honestly, I would argue these cows are more animated than the main cows, but that's probably because they don't have a large, heavy head strapped to their body, so it's easier to move around in. And that's it. That's all I have to say on these kid cows. But we're not done just yet, as there's one more chapter. So if you're familiar with my history videos on mascots, You know, I always talk about variant/alternative outfits the mascots sometimes wear. Well, the Chick-fil-A cows are no different. But what makes this special is that for the first time in a while, I'm dedicating a whole chapter to their alternative outfits, because there's just so many of them. Now, of course, since there's so many alternative outfits, I know for a fact I didn't find all of them. But the ones I did find are pretty cool, so let's go over all of them. First up are some Christmas-themed outfits. There's the primary holiday outfit where the Chick-fil-A cow becomes Santa Cow. It's really just a normal Santa Claus costume jacket, but the brim of the hat says "Eat More Chicken," and the belt buckle has the Chick-fil-A logo on it. I did find this other Santa Cow suit where the white parts have spots on them, and it looks terrible. As for the kid cows, there's this one which is just a normal green Santa Claus jacket. Then there's this one where they're dressed like an elf, complete with green elf shoes, a red hat, and a red and green shirt vest combo with text that reads, "Be our little helper, eat more chicken." Here's the cows with none other than Chuck E. Cheese himself, but I noticed the sign the cow was holding. It says, "Wise men still seek Jesus." I don't think that's a real sign, probably a custom-made sign, but sometimes I forget how religious Chick-fil-A actually is. Finally, since I'm talking about holiday outfits, here's the cow wearing a winter scarf and skis, though sadly he did not go skiing. Or maybe he did. Next, we have some athletic outfits. I mean, Chick-fil-A does sponsor many sporting events, so why not the cow dress up in sportswear? Here he is in a red basketball jersey which says, "Block burgers, pass chicken." He's also worn both football outfits and baseball outfits. The cow has also been seen wearing a referee outfit on some occasions. Other times he wears a shirt that says, "Real fans eat chicken." Here's the cow wearing a marathon outfit complete with red shoes, blue shorts, and a red shirt that says, "Chicken eaters go the extra mile." This is also one of the few times the cow has actually worn pants. Sometimes, depending on the sporting event, the cow will actually wear a jersey for whatever team is playing. For example, in that tornado video, the cow is wearing an Oregon jersey. Here he is in a Clemson jersey. And finally, here he is in an Anaheim Ducks hockey jersey. And finally, here's a cheerleader cow hanging out with Louie the Cardinal Bird from Louisville. She's got a red dress and text on the front that says, "We like chicken. Yes, we do." Then we have many superhero costumes. I know I already mentioned the superhero cows earlier, but the costume cows have also worn super suits. Some of them are actually based on the older super cows, so here's some of them. There's this one which is pretty simple. He's wearing a red mask and cape while holding a sign that says, "Real heroes eat chicken." There's this cow wearing a purple suit with a yellow cape, and there's a logo on the front with the letters D and B on it. Not sure what that means, but whatever. Lastly, there's this one which goes all out, with a full red suit and mask along with the yellow cape. I must say that this look makes the cow look super buff, like an actual comic book hero. But again, I'm not sure what the C on the front stands for. Maybe Chick-fil-A? Finally, the kid cow has a superhero outfit, but this is the only photo I could find of it, and it doesn't give us that good of a look. But what I can see is that it has a blue and gold color scheme complete with a gold mask and cape, and the Chick-fil-A logo on the front. Next are a selection of outfits that are based off clowns. So a few years ago, Chick-fil-A was one of the main sponsors for the Ringling Brothers and Barnum Bailey Circus. And during the circus, Chick-fil-A would sometimes bring the cows out and they'd be wearing clown suits. The more common cow clown is this one where he has a clown wig and red clown nose on his head, along with a bow tie on his sign that says, "Eating beef is silly." I wonder now that Ringling Brothers is coming back, will these cows come back too? Outside the circus, some Chick-fil-A locations held events called Circus Night, and a few more clown cows were spotted here. Along with the previous cow, there's this clown cow, where he has a party hat on, and the weird things around his hands and feet, along with a blue shirt. And finally, there's this clown cow wearing a clown wig and nose, but this time he has an orange shirt that says, "Real performers eat chicken." There is also a clown outfit for the kid cow, which is a little more elaborate than the other ones. He's wearing a clown wig with a hat, a necktie, those things around his hands, and it appears he's wearing large oversized red clown pants. These next few outfits are similar to clown outfits, but they're not. But they do have something to do with celebrating something. There's this one which might look like a clown suit, but it actually isn't one. It's a celebration outfit, where he has on a party hat, bow tie, and a sign that says, "Celebrate with Chicken." The kid cow has this outfit where it's just a shirt that says Chicken, the real party animal. Lastly, there's this 4th of July costume the cow sometimes wears, which includes an Uncle Sam hat, red shoes, and a sign that reads, "Life, Liberty, and the Pursuit of Chicken." Now let's say the cow has to wear something a little more formal than a clown suit. Well, here's the cow in a graduation outfit, and here he is in a top hat and tuxedo. This one is used for weddings and prom. I also found another version, but this one lacks the tuxedo, and instead has a sign that reads, "You're formally invited to eat chicken." This one was actually taken at the Ringling Brothers Circus. Finally, here's the kid cow wearing just a simple Cow Appreciation Day t-shirt. Now we're getting towards the end, so here's a bunch of random costumes that relate to medieval times. For starters, make way for the royal cow family. Here's the kid cow wearing a pink and purple princess outfit. Here's also the main cow wearing a king outfit. Maybe he and King Louis can be friends. And just because this kind of relates to the whole kingdom theme, here's the cow wearing a knight's outfit complete with a sign that reads, "'Tis nobler to eat more chicken." Finally, there's the normal cow in a pink dress and a blue bow. The text on her reads, "Milkshakes and chicken are so dreamy." Yuck. Milkshake flavored chicken. This second to last set of outfits relates to jobs, or more specifically cows dressed in popular job outfits. There's also just some random outfits I threw in here just for the heck of it. The 3 main ones to feature are this police cow, traffic control cow, a firefighter cow with a sign that reads, "We're fired up over spicy chicken," and a doctor/nurse cow. There's this lifeguard cow with a white t-shirt and red shorts. The shirt also reads, "No diving into burgers." There's this cow dressed as a milk salesman, I think? I'm not sure what this is. Then there's this cow in a nice blue shirt. And lastly, there's this outfit. I'm not sure what this is. Now you guys are probably getting tired of me talking about all these variant outfits right now, but we're at the very end. Go put on your PJs and come join the cows for a slumber party. The cows have worn many different pajamas, mostly for events or if Chick-Fil-A is doing a breakfast promotion. The primary cow in PJ's outfit is this one, where it's all blue with small suns and moons on them. He's also got a nightcap and a sun sign that reads, "Chicken for breakfast ever dawn on you?" He also has this outfit which is a lighter blue color and has small cows on it. And finally here's the cow kid in their PJs which is also blue and has cows on them. But this time there's yellow and text that says, "Add chicken to your morning routine." Okay, this is the last alternative outfit and the last thing I'm going to talk about in this video. The last outfit the cows have worn is their birthday suits. Now before you get disgusted or YouTube tries to take this video down because I'm showing naked cows, just remember cows are already naked. It's just nature. And on that note, this concludes the history of Chick-Fil-A mascots. And there you have it, the history of all the many mascots of the restaurant chain Chick-Fil-A. I hope you guys liked this video, it was so fun to make. I love Chick-Fil-A so much and the cows are awesome and cool. Again, my favorite restaurant mascots ever. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section down below. Please like, share, and subscribe, and comment down below which mascot was your favorite. Also, if you ever worked for Chick-Fil-A and wore the cow costumes, feel free to share some stories you might have as your time as the cow. I'd love to know. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next month on the History of series. Bye-bye!
I wanna go to Chick-Fil-A, Chick-Fil-A, call the ladies. Let's go to Chick-Fil-A, Chick-Fil-A, grab your babies. We're going to Chick-Fil-A, Chick-Fil-A, no maybes. Hello, Chick-Fil-A, Chick-Fil-A. Yeah, it's pretty clear why we go to Chick-Fil-A. We're treated like royalty here, sometimes go twice a day. Cause we got that lifestyle that all the moms crave. All the free ice cream every single day. I see you judging me, no makeup on my face, but we can do that here, this is our special place. If you've got newborn babies, they'll raise them up, cause everything they say my pleasure, even when they're mopping up. Our husbands say we go to Chick-Fil-A way too much, but we get to wear yoga pants in our hair in a messy bun. And yes, that's my son running barefoot to the bathroom stall. Now's the perfect time for mom to wrap up my business call. I wanna go to Chick-Fil-A, Chick-Fil-A, call the ladies. Let's go to Chick-Fil-A, Chick-Fil-A, grab your babies. We're going to Chick-Fil-A, Chick-Fil-A, no maybes. Hello, Chick-Fil-A, Chick-Fil-A. We bring our playdates here, and all our troubles seem to disappear. Can't see my babies, but I'm sure they're here. I'm here to tell you everything they say my pleasure, even when my kid gets stuck. Our husbands say we go to Chick-Fil-A way too much, but we get to wear yoga pants in our hair in a messy bun. And yes, that's my son running barefoot to the bathroom stall. Now's the perfect time for mom to wrap up my business call.
Y'all, Spencer is not excited about this. He brought out the bank statement. Spencer sees my car here again. I am in big trouble.
Well, I just Instagrammed that picture, so you better get home. Are you pregnant? Bless her.
And yes, that's my son running barefoot to the bathroom stall. Now's the perfect time for mom to wrap up my business call.
Don't worry, Scooby. I promise to bring you to Chick-fil-A for Cow Appreciation Day one day, even if it's the last thing I do. Oh, that's right! Football season's coming up. Heck yeah! Hopefully we get to the Super Bowl this year. Oh, wait. Super Bowl? Oh, no. Didn't I say if the Bengals lost I had to do a history video on... Oh, no. Oh.